Yeah, what up? It's your boy Martha God, aka God's Wrath here with another Destiny video. Anyways, good morning or good evening, depending on what side of the planet you're on. For those who have played the Destiny 2 beta, you will recognize this as the inverted Spire strike, but this week it is in fact the Nightfall. A few things changed, but not much, just on the way you gain time. But before I get into that, I would just like to say if you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. Drop a like, a comment, maybe share. If you are subscribed to me, slap that like button. Let me know what you think of the video and what I can improve on. Before I get into that, I know a lot of people have been telling me about thumbnails, but I'm just going to be honest. I'm not good at thumbnails. I really don't know how to make thumbnails. I've tried to make thumbnails. Every once in a while they'll stick. In other cases they won't. And it's just like I just suck at it. Just plain and simple. So if there's somebody out there that can help me, maybe give me a few pointers on exactly how to make a thumbnail, maybe even help me make my thumbnails, it would be greatly appreciated. I know there's a few YouTubers out there that, they do things for other YouTubers with no problem. And, it's just thank you if you can help me. But basically, I'm gonna tell you how to do this Nightfall relatively easy and to knock it out as quick as possible. This is not like last week, so it's a lot easier in a sense, but in other ways, it's kind of hard. Just the fact that it's so long. But before we get into it, I'm just gonna say like this: the best way to beat this Nightfall is to set your weapons up accordingly, like you did last week if you played the Nightfall. Basically, as you can tell, I'm running the origin story, which is probably besides the Scatlock is one of my favorite auto rifles so far. You get it from the Vanguard as basically a reward. You know, when you finish the story, and then whatever you do your thing for Zavala, he gives it to you. But before I straight from the sole intent of this video, which is to show you an easy way of beating this. Well, there really is no easy way, but to help you beat this as quick as possible. But basically, like I said, I'm running the auto rifle and my kinetic weapon. My secondary is in fact the Cold Heart, which for those who know is a PlayStation exclusive. And I mean, I don't know if it's a PlayStation exclusive, but I know that if you pre-order Destiny, you could get it. So that's basically that. Well, anyways, as you can see, these hoops right here are in fact the key thing to beating this as quick as possible and still having time on the clock. Every time you jump through a hoop, it gives you a certain amount of time. Last week we had to kill ads, and then by killing ads, we got seconds added to our time, which allowed us to finish the story in the end. Well, to be able to beat the boss with a certain amount of time left. The challenge was to beat the boss and still have 5 minutes on the clock. We actually beat him with 6 minutes and something still on the clock, but that's not bragging. That's just saying we just managed our time right. Even though we play a little reckless, but that's besides the point. In order to beat this, what you're gonna have to do, like we did, is have somebody pretty much designated the designated jumper. We chose to make one of my clan members a designated jumper. Every once in a while, if we had to improvise because somebody died, then we had it already set up who would jump next. Like if Captain Stoney died, then what would happen is my other clan member would do the jumping while I killed the ads. And like I said, you can't get no time by killing ads because it's not like last week's modifier. But basically, if you jump through the hoops, you will gain as much time as possible. And the thing is, you don't really have to do the challenge. You can just beat the boss straight out with time on the clock. It can be 50 seconds on the clock and you beat him. You still beat the Nightfall. But if you want to get, I don't know if it's like the special loot or whatever, then what you do is you beat him in the time allotted. And it's basically, to me, the gear is all right, but it's basically bragging rights. But that's how you're gonna beat it. You have to set up your supers accordingly and set up your weapons accordingly. You don't have to, but it's the best way to beat it. And I notice throughout the course of my gameplay, you'll notice that arc does a lot of damage to the bosses, and especially when using the Cold Heart. But if you don't got the Cold Heart, a secondary auto rifle would do, maybe one according to whatever burn you're running. Like myself, I ran Dawnblade, and then I had my kinetic weapon was the auto rifle origin story. My secondary was Cold Heart, and my power weapon was the Vanguard rocket launcher with cluster bombs because they do a lot of damage. But like I said, as you can see, these are the hoops that you'll have to jump through. You see, my job on this is designated to clear out as many ads as possible, so it'll make it easier for my teammate to be able to jump through these hoops to get this time. And if you look at the right hand corner at the bottom, you'll notice when he jumps to the hoops, how much time we get back. I cut out a few things because I died a couple of times, but you see how I went to 10:54. We're just at 7 minutes, so we do get a good chunk of time back. But at the end, you don't get that. You basically have to do these things in order to conserve as much time as possible. And like I said, this strike is pretty easy, besides a few points that may be a little hard. But yeah, all in all, like it's a good video. I mean, it's a good strike. But I'm not gonna go into too much. I'm just basically gonna reiterate what I said, so you'll be able to watch the rest of the video if you choose. But basically, this video was just made so you get an idea how to beat it as quick as possible in a sufficient manner and be done with it, you know. But basically, I'm gonna go over it again. Set up your weapons accordingly. I ran a kinetic weapon, which kinetic weapons have no burn. I ran auto rifles because it's sustained damage. It's constantly putting damage to a boss, adds, whatever. My secondary was the cold heart, which was arc, another weapon that just a constant stream of damage. If you know the perks of the cold heart, the longer it's hitting the target, the the more damage it does, like over time. And as you can see in this video, and then my power weapon was in fact like I said, a Vanguard rocket launcher with cluster bombs, which was solar. Those are the elements I ran. One of my teammates ran a void weapon, a void sniper as his power, and in his secondary he ran an auto rifle or something with I think solar, and then his super was the tether, and then the other one ran another element. But basically we're able to continuously put damage down because we all ran a different arc, a different archetype, and that's gonna make it easy. It's gonna make it easier on you. And like I said, the way to beat this one is basically have a designated hoop jumper, and if he dies in the process, then set it up to where one of you are like the next one to jump to the hoop. And then if he dies, then you know the last resort is like the last guy, which was me. So I left the hoop jumping to my clanmates, and I basically was just killing ads and resurrect them so they can in turn resurrect me when I die. So yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, when you get to the end, you just want to put as much damage on the boss as you can. I'm gonna let you know, if you got cold heart, if you got the cold heart, whatever rifle, I don't know what it's considered, but whatever rifle it is, if you got the cold heart, you're gonna want that one. You're gonna want the cold heart because the sustained damage of that on bosses is freaking insane. Some people say it's OP, but I think it's just right. And please don't use OP because then they'll nerf it. But yeah, the cold heart is a beast, and if you got it, I would take it in basically any strike, any Nightfall, anything I do, like I would take the cold heart. And yeah, as you can see the hoops in the background. But yeah, I'm just gonna let the rest of this video play. Sorry if I was a little all over the place. It's early morning. I haven't had my coffee, and I'm not that articulate when it comes to explaining this stuff, but I try my best. Uh, but like I said, if you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. And if you are subscribed to me, drop that like, leave that comment, let me know what you think of the video, and grow with me. And that's pretty much it. Slap that like button. My name is Moth the God, aka God's Wrath, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Catch you on the dark side.
Too bad you can't trade shit on this game.
Arc.
It's switching guns.
Damn, I'm getting 140 to the head.
Void. Damn, the cold heart still does a lot of damage. Heal on me.
No, fuck! 2 minutes. Those fucking Vex, dude, when you shoot their head off, they go nuts.
Yeah.
So, football scientists
I'm like
know
shooting.
much, but they're not very smart. I guess they cracked open the planet that mind
Dude, I'm telling you
contact.
that freaking cold hearted is no joke.